Hello, everyone. Welcome to another drawing session with Vontroy Comics. Today I'm getting a little nasty with it. No, not safe for web with Bowsette. While I was working on my run of drawings for my commission, I ended up, kind of experimenting, and this is what I got. So I've been a huge fan of Artgerm, the artist Artgerm, and he's really well known for his very simple yet still complex and still grounded illustrations. Like, he's really painterly when it comes to his work. You could see a bunch of stuff that he does. One of my favorites is his painting of Ken from Street Fighter back in I want to say 2016, 17, something like that. So, and the thing is, at heart, I'm a painter. Like, when it comes to cell shading and stuff like that, I enjoy it. Especially considering that, it's in a lot of cases is more efficient. When you're trying to do something like cartoons or comics or animation, anything of the sort, it's just kind of drag and drop when it comes to that. But when it comes to painting, you have to really blend and texturize and stuff like that. So it's a little difficult when it comes to trying to do that on a time crunch. But at heart, I'm still a painter, so I like to figure out a way to merge the two as much as possible. For the past couple of my drawing videos you see that I definitely blend a lot more, and I blend a lot more. I try to soften as much as possible without losing any of the solid form that we're dealing with. But I still end up relying on the hard line, which that's cool and all, but ultimately I want to get it to the point that I don't the hard line does not matter. I can very easily get rid of the hard line, and you'll still be able to say, oh yeah, that's in this case, that's Bowsette. So let's see what we could do. So, I don't know if I established this, and you're gonna find me repeating myself in multiple instances when it comes to these, because there's not really a can I say, a solid format when it comes to me doing these. But I like to ramble, and I also like to teach and show people stuff. So in this case, we're talking about light sources. Okay, right now, I'm establishing a layer of highlights, or soft highlights, and my light source is coming from over here somewhere. Okay. That's just an easy way to start. It could very easily change based on how I'm feeling. The light source could go from above, below, side to side. It doesn't matter. But for right now, let's just stick with that. All right. So, first topic on the agenda is the pandemic is expecting to get worse. I don't know what the hell y'all are doing. I really don't know what the hell y'all are doing, but I really hope y'all are staying the fuck in the house. Like, I go out or whatever. I go out for essentials, and I go out to, get exercise. That's it. Okay. Like, I didn't have a life prior to this, so I didn't give a shit about, people saying, oh, you need to stay in the house. I'm like, okay. I'm doing that pretty good. But I really hope that everyone else is sticking to this too, because now that we finally got that orange asshole out of office, I would prefer that we start 2021 with a better in a better way than we had all of 2020. Okay, and part of that is just simply following rules for a second. God damn, like I've seen people do some of the stupidest crap during the pandemic. Like I remember when it first kicked off. You know, Waka Flocka was on fucking radio saying black folk can't catch COVID, and I was like, that's to be some of the dumbest shit in the world. What is what information are you getting? Where are you getting this information from? Okay, and you know, you got a lot of people that think that is the case. You know, that's why I like, you know, despite the fact that that it's wrong, and you know you have sources that prove otherwise, whatever. But you know, when it comes to coming out your mouth with shit like that, you really need to like that shouldn't even made it to the air for real. Especially considering that, you know, you're not a scientist, you know, and you got stupid people, you know. So, I mean, and yeah, we could say that that's Darwinism and stuff like that. Yeah, of course, you know, stupid people make stupid decisions, but still. But yes, I really hope that y'all are staying the hell in the house. We never did what we had to do to fight it in the first place. Okay, when we first got into this crap, they said stay in the house. There was a stay in the house order for, I want to say, maybe 2 to 4 weeks, right? And I was fine with that. All right, like that was no big deal, you know. I was like, hey, I just gotta go to work. I still gotta go to work. All right, great. But outside of that, I wasn't going anywhere social. You know, I was fine being in the house. But you know, I've seen people wilding out on Instagram. I've seen people do stupid crap on Instagram, and I'm just like, y'all do know that it's a pandemic, right? People going to China. People going to you know, they like, well, you know, flights are cheap and yada yada yada. Okay, you know, I really hope that flight was worth it, because y'all are making some really stupid decisions out there. If you are being safe, I applaud you, because apparently that is so fucking difficult and that's so damn hard for a lot of people. So just stay in the house for a little bit. And I actually said this in one of my previous videos. This is a perfect time for us to focus on ourselves. And that doesn't include going on vacation trips. that focus, I'm saying that is a good opportunity for you to focus on, you know, a hobby that you've been wanting to pick up. Maybe something, maybe a trade that you've been wanting to develop. Maybe, you know, cleaning out a portion of your house that you've been putting off for the past, you know, 10 years. You know, rearranging your room or something like that. Something. I'm all for people developing hobbies, okay? I would say I have a total of 5-6 hobbies. And, you know, I'm always open to develop more. But, you know, I've met plenty of people that just don't have one, you know. And it's just like, this is the perfect time for you to focus on that. You know, develop something. Create something. That, you know, you have nothing but time to sit in the house now. A lot of you are sitting, you know, either sitting at working from home, or either working from home or, you know, stuck at home. So it's just like, hey, let's focus, you know, let's focus this, you know, let's say at rest energy. Yeah, like this at rest energy. Let's focus that energy to something, you know. I know you're getting antsy, and I know that you're, you know, you got cabin fever and stuff like that. Well, you know, you could put that effort into something. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about the pandemic. I'm sorry. And I just hope that y'all are being safe, because I feel like we should have been fixed this issue if we just simply follow directions the first time. So now that we have Agent Orange out of the office, maybe we could fix, you know, this, because We got other countries that are like legit waiting for us. They're just like, yo, my nigga, what are you doing? Sit the fuck down. You got crazy motherfuckers at the wharf getting crab legs and shit. I'm like, is that what you're gonna risk your health for? Crab legs? Okay. Jesus Christ. Alright, so I'm going to make an effort to clean up these lines. So, and that's, majority of art is just experimental. You don't know what's going to work until you try it. And then, if it doesn't work, then hey, you learned why, hopefully you learned why it didn't work. I'm just filling in this area. I had to move her, she has like drool coming from her tongue, and I had to move it over because it wasn't it wasn't hanging right. It was crooked, and gravity, stuff goes straight down. Okay, like unless you flung it, or unless unless it fall at an angle or whatever like that, it goes straight down if the conditions will let it. So I fixed it for before I painted it, and now I'm just kind of trying to fill in this area. I'm still contemplating on whether I should just go back in. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go over this real quick. So here it goes. I want to drop the opacity, and just to get a little clarity, I'm gonna make a new layer. Bring that guy to the bottom. And I want to make that guy white. Racist. Why gotta be white? Why can't it be black? Why can't it be? I mean, he's at the bottom, so bottom of the food chain. So yeah, why not? So what I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna make a new layer because now I have this guy light enough so that I'm gonna drop it down a little bit because I want it to. There you go. So I want to see a clear difference between my pencils and my pencils. My pencils. So I don't mess with the pencil tool that much, so it's kind of hard to tell what I wanna. Is that because the transfer is on? Yeah, let's see if we can get rid of that transfer. But nobody say. Okay. So let's see how that goes. Ooh, that's a little pixelated. I don't know if I like that. No. That's enough for me, dog. I'll just go back to brush. Get rid of some of these. Now I'm going to try to. I'm going to keep this brush as thin as possible throughout the I'm not relying on. On line weight. Oh shit. I'm not relying on line weight or anything like that. I just want it to be straight up line because because it's gonna my brush is going to just establish a solid line. That's it. It's not going to really. I'm not trying to rely on it too much. So if that is your first time hearing line weight, I will let you know what line weight means. Line weight means, width, size of your line. Okay, if you have a heavy line weight, that means that you're trying to because the use of line weight is simply to establish foreground, middle ground, background. Okay, if I have a thick line weight, I'm trying to establish that whatever object I did, whatever object I illustrated in that line weight is going to be closer to the viewer. If I have a very thin line weight, that would tell you that the object is further away. That's the pretty short end of it. It's it's good to use. It's pretty it's pretty useful if you're a illustrative artist that just use ink and pencil. So yeah, that's a good way to establish foreground, middle ground, background. Something in the background shouldn't have the same line weight as something that's supposed to be in the foreground if that's what you're trying to do. Okay, now let's say something is in the foreground, the extreme foreground. Let's say you're drawing someone who is punching towards the screen. Well, the punch, the actual fist, shouldn't be in the same line weight as the person who's throwing the fist. Now, if you are trying to, if you're not trying to use use line weight or whatever, then yes, you can very easily use different methods to try to establish foreground, middle ground, background. But if you're using line weight, you want to make sure that you keep that that consistency, because it would to an amateur viewer, it won't make that much of a difference. But to someone who could possibly see the difference, which it could be another artist, it could just be someone with a very keen eye for art, and they could see the difference, and it could be confusing. So that's why you want to make sure that you have a solid idea of what's in the background, what's in the foreground, stuff like that. you may have seen it on some of my drawings. You may have seen it in some of the videos that I've done. I would do a very thick line around something, and a thinner line around something else. So that's another thing. Line weight also varies based on, it could vary based on the size or the weight of whatever object you're drawing. Like if I'm drawing, let's say in this case, I'm drawing a woman with very big boobs, right? So when it comes down to the area, not the area, I'm sorry, the bottom part of her breast, considering that it's an overlap, I'm going to thicken that line weight because I wanted to emphasize that it's, it has some type of weight to it, So line weight is not just for foreground, middle ground, background, but it definitely helps. You want to establish, like when it comes to each drawing, every single drawing is, for the most part, is different, right? This drawing is not going to be the same or, be the same as the last one. But, when it comes to that, you establish rules. You establish rules because you're the creator. You're this is your universe on this page. So you're the, you create, the rules. So that being said, when you do that, you have to stick to your own rules. And that's sometimes difficult for some artists. I hate to say amateur artists, but yeah, that's definitely difficult for some amateur artists because of the fact that, they're new and they don't know that or whatever. But like, it's just like when someone asks you about, so you did this, but why did you do this? And they say, oh, that's just my style. I'm like, try again, because that's not it. I have an idea of what your style is. Your style is X, Y, and Z. So, this, like, if you did it this way, because I've seen you do it this way before, then that makes sense, but you're just saying that that's just my style. A good answer could have been like, oh, I was experimenting, that's a good answer. But you establish rules in your universe. You establish rules, and when you establish rules, you kind of have to abide by them because it could just look inconsistent. And when it comes to art, you have to have a level of consistency. Alright, so I'm gonna speed this up because it's just me tracing over my own lines, which it's looking good. It's looking good, especially considering that. Wait a minute, let me see if I can turn that off. Yeah, it's looking good. So yeah, I'm gonna speed this up, and we'll go from there. Normalize black people owning luxury stuff. Normalize shutting the fuck up, okay? Y'all have this idea that once you put normalize in front of something, that makes it valid or that makes it important or woke or whatever the fuck it is that you're trying to promote. But you can't. Normalizing owning luxury stuff as a black person is some of the dumb. It's the part where I'm like, okay, this is the straw that broke the camel's back. Okay. Yes, it's nice to have nice things. I agree. Okay, I agree. I like nice things every now and then. I do. There's nice things that I want. There is. Am I trying to normalize black people having nice things? No. Why? Because most of these nice things have expensive price tags connected to them. And guess what? A lot of y'all don't fucking have tons of money to spending money on nice things like that. Okay, now if it's a nice thing that's going to help you further your career, great, go for it. If it's a nice thing that's going to help you, pass on something great to your kids, go for it. If it's a nice thing that's going to help you invest, I am not standing in the way of any of that shit. I'm not. Okay, but what y'all are talking about is Louis V this, Prada that, and Lamborghini this. Okay, that is something that's just frivolous spending. That's all it is. Especially cursing that most of you motherfuckers, 99% of us, don't even have any stocks in that shit. So you're just spending money and giving it to white folk. So you're trying to normalize something. You're trying to normalize being a consumer. That's all it is. I want us to normalize being a creator, being something that contributes, being something that when you die or whatever, you could be known for. Oh, that's the dude or that's the woman that did yada yada yada. That's what I want. Y'all trying to say normalize owning nice things or whatever so you don't feel bad for spending $1,200 on a fucking purse is the dumbest crap in the world. It really is, okay? You a sneakerhead and your ass, got all of these fucking sneakers and not one fucking car. You got all these freaking sneakers and not, and no savings. Like, how does that make sense? But normalize black people owning nice things. Shut the hell up. Please. Like, it's okay to have, it's okay to splurge on yourself every now and then. That's fine. But don't let you chasing these nice things be the sole reason why you wake up. Okay? Don't let that be your entire personality. You're more than just the Jordans that's on your feet. You're more than just the Prada purse or whatever fucking purse you're wearing. You're more than that. Stop trying to make it seem like this is not something that needs to be fought for. We have greater things to fight for, not this. Like, why do I have to talk to y'all like this? All right, so within the last week, Benny the Butcher, Boosie, and I think like one other rapper. I'm not familiar with that third rapper, but a couple of people got shot. A couple of people got shot over the past couple days. Well, the past week or so, and yeah, Boosie got shot in the no. I'm sorry. Yeah, Benny got shot in the leg. I think Boosie got shot in the leg as well down in Texas, and I think Reese Waters, a social personality, he mentioned what can be done to kind of solve this violence in our rap community, and I agree. I agree that's a valid question. What can be done to help solve violence in the rap community? But I also see where the issue stems from. Okay, and it stems from. It kind of stems from like these three artists. Well, at least two of them I know for a fact is part of that life. Gangsta, thug niggas, yada yada yada, right? I'm like, well, you kind of the premise of being a thug is being a hard ass, being dude with that gun, the dude that knows guys with guns, the guys that does yada 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 or whatever like that. We all know this is not unfamiliar territory. So I hate to say it, but when you're in that life, you run that risk, do you not? You run that risk when majority of your music is talking about how you're the big bad wolf and yada yada yada. At some point, someone's going to challenge that. To be honest, someone's going to challenge that at some point, right? So it's like you can't. I don't want to say, oh well, I can't believe they would do yada yada yada. It's just like, you sure? Actually, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna try something new when it comes to this. Like, oh shit! Wait a minute. I think am I wrong there? No. Okay, I'm sorry. So yeah, I'm gonna try something different when it comes to this. I just want to see if it'll work. Let me make a new layer before I decide to do that. So I'm going to go to edit, fill. Let me bring this window down here. Boom. I'm gonna click OK. So now I made her significantly lighter. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back with my eraser. I'm gonna soften my eraser. And I'm just gonna cut back into this what I already have to see if this could give me, because I'm still I'm not lost, but I'm still undecided of what I'm gonna do when it comes to the direction of her light source. So I'm going to I don't need that. Oh, you suck. Stop. So okay, back to Benny the Butcher. So it's like when you do that much, to establish that you're the big bad wolf. And here's the thing, before I continue, I'm a huge fan of Benny the Butcher. Okay, I am. I enjoy him and Griselda, and how they kind of how they brought back thug trap, not thug trap, I'm sorry, thug gangster music or whatever like that, in a very artistic way. Like it gives me a lot of it's very Wu-Tang-esque when it comes to what they do. Kind of their beat choices, their artistry as far as like visuals, like a lot of that stuff is giving me Wu-Tang, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it because Wu-Tang was definitely one of a million, because they wasn't just like, oh yeah, we just gangsta niggas from from New York, whatever. Oh my god, my stomach. They apply some type of artistry to it. They had a lot of stuff to say, and so does Griselda. But back to the main topic. I do enjoy what they do. Okay, I enjoy their music. But like I said, when you spend all this time establishing you're the big bad wolf, and I'm not trying to say, oh well, this is what you get. That's not what I'm trying to say. But that kind of that opens you for, at least that, I won't say open you, that makes you a target for someone to prove you wrong. That's like me saying I'm the best in the game. Well, is there someone going to challenge me at some point? But in this case, if I say I'm the best in the game or yada yada yada, I mean, I would 9 times out of 10 I would assume that someone's going to challenge me in an arts contest or some crap like that. I'm not saying I'm the best, gunslinger in the freaking Wild Wild West or some shit. But when you do a lot of that stuff, you bring that to your life. There's artists that do rap about drugs and rap about yada yada yada, whatever, and it could be a matter of just them telling their story, which that's fine. Hey, I'm telling you this story, yada yada yada. This is just kind of the life that I came from, right? But ultimately, I want to get the fuck out of there, right? And then you have the artists that just like, no, I'm about that life, and I will always be about that life, and they never really transition. I'm not saying that this is what Benny the Butcher did or didn't. I'm not saying this is what Boosie did or didn't. But that just comes with it. That type of stuff comes with the territory. You don't see Q-Tip and them having to deal with niggas who trying to run up on them like that. Because it's kind of like what you put out there. I think a good way to going back to what Reese Waters said. He said, what can we do to help solve and fix the violence in hip hop? It's just like, well, I think it's important for the artists themselves to learn to learn and establish the difference between this is what I used to do, this is what I'm trying to get away from. Okay. Pusha T, another drug dealer rapper or whatever. For the most part, his work, for a while, he's been showing that he's not like, he's not really, he's connected, but he's not really, about that life, like he's not slinging cocaine right fucking now. At least I hope not. So that being said, it's it's something that you manage to remove yourself from. Jay-Z is a good example. He would acknowledge on multiple occasions, and say, he was like, yeah, I used to slang dope, I used to do X, Y, and Z, but I'm not like, that's not me anymore. The whole purpose was for me to do this and get out of my living situation. Once I'm out of my living situation, I don't have to do this shit no more. I established a new career. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, like, I think that's a good way to, I think that's one of the best ways, because I can't really think of any other way when it comes to like, in the community itself, if we're talking about violence in your community and stuff like that, there's a bunch of ways to fix that or whatever. But if we're talking about, in this case, in the artist case, it's solely based on the person. I hate to say it, I hate to say it. It's based on the person. When you like to, when you put off a certain persona or certain, shall I say, when you put off a certain persona or a certain bravado, that's a good one, bravado, it's bound to get tested. It is, you can't say I'm X, Y, and Z and all of that shit, and then expect to not get challenged by that. Let's look at Tupac. Tupac was thug life all the fucking time, right? Well, look what happened. Rest in peace, Tupac, and all that shit. But like, let's be honest. No one, like, y'all can't possibly say that, oh my God, they shouldn't have done that to Tupac and yada yada yada. No, yeah, they shouldn't have done it to Tupac. But this was something that, came with whatever, it was a consequence from some type of action. Is it not? I mean, shit, y'all might cancel me for this, but I can't really care, because it's a consequence. It's a consequence. That's all it is. Since we're on the topic, you got people that, say, rest in peace, yada, 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 right? And every person out here, everyone listening, everyone that, especially if you're from the African American diaspora, all of you know somebody who either rocked or wore a rest in peace t-shirt or shouted out a rest in peace to yada yada yada, or was the person themselves resting in peace, but like they about to, man, he didn't deserve yada yada yada, but it's just like they were wilding out the whole time. You telling me that like he was, you view him as this angel or whatever like that, but he was doing X, Y, and Z. He was out here robbing niggas and yada yada yada, and then he didn't deserve that. Come on now, we have to hold ourselves accountable. We really do. I don't see how someone could try to rob a bank or whatever, and then, well, I mean, shit, I do understand that part. I ain't gonna really. I'll take that example back. That was a bad example. But like, kill and all of this, killing and all of this crazy shit, whatever, and then robbing people at least. But then you're like, man, he didn't deserve, whatever consequence that came from it. Free my mans, yada yada yada. Free your mans. He just got 5 stars on Grand Theft Auto in real life, and you telling me that free my mans? No, nigga, what the fuck? Hell no. I can't do it. Because it's just like, it's consequences. It's consequences. And I mean, the only time I would say someone don't deserve something is when they had nothing to do with it. When some, especially violence, but when something comes to someone's doorstep and they did everything to avoid it, and it still kills them or fucks their life up or something like that, that is tragically, like, that's sad as fuck. And that's where I feel my empathy and sympathy. But like, if someone does X, Y, and Z, and I'm just like, bro, like, why did you do that? That's my first question, is like, why did you do that? I don't know. But then when it comes down to, to come, I'm sorry, for consequences or whatever, it's just like, I don't know what to tell you. Because that's kind of like, that's, it's cause and effect. But yeah, like I said, that's my take on it. It's hard for you to establish yourself as some type of, big bad wolf or whatever, and you expect to not get challenged. I feel like that's that's backwards, with me. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. That is really important. It really helps. And share. The more people, the merrier. Put in requests. If you want something specific, or if you're looking for a certain technique done, let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to respond. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Fontroy Comics. It's pretty straightforward. And I will check you on the next one.